I think the key is to do it with compassion,
Yeah.
to understand that it's not about being right or wrong.
It's about what's best for everyone involved.
Exactly.
Man, this deep dive, it's really made me think
Yeah, me too.
about all the different sides of this issue.
It's complex,
Yeah.
but it's important.
And, even though Wave's talking about the Black community specifically,
Uh-huh.
I can see how this applies to all sorts of groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
Role players,
Online community.
any group of people, really.
This tension between individual freedom and collective responsibility, it's everywhere.
It's a human thing.
Yeah.
We all have to figure out how to navigate it.
And the way we do that, it shakes the world around us.
Absolutely.
So the question is, how do we create accountability that's both effective and fair in all these different contexts?
That's a good question.
It's a really important question.
It is.
And I think it's one that we need to keep exploring, with each other.
Yeah. And with people from different backgrounds, different perspectives.
Because ultimately, we're all part of the same world. We're all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Wave, he brings it all back around,
Okay.
to that analogy of the assault.
Right.
He's saying, like, don't just stand there.
Yeah.
Do something.
It's powerful.
It is.
Especially now.
Yeah, with everything going on.
It's easy to just feel overwhelmed.
Right.
It's like, what can I do?
Yeah, you feel helpless.
Yeah.
But Wave is reminding us we all have power.
Okay.
We can make a difference.
Even in small ways.
Yeah, even small things.
Sometimes just speaking up is the bravest thing you can do.
Absolutely, even when it's scary.
Yeah.
He even says, like, if nobody can tell you anything,
Yeah.
if you just won't listen to criticism.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
it is, but I think there's truth to it.
Yeah, if we're not growing, if we're not learning from our mistakes,
Then what are we doing?
right.
We're not living up to our potential.
We're not making the world better.
Right.
So what do we do?
What can we do?
How do we actually build this culture of accountability?
Well, I think it starts with ourselves.
Okay.
Before we can hold anyone else accountable.
Yeah.
We have to be willing to look at ourselves.
To hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah, lead by example,
Show people that it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, and to learn from it.
Be open to feedback.
Absolutely.
And think about how what we do affects others.
That's huge.
It is.
Be willing to listen, to really try to understand.
And to have those conversations.
The hard ones.
Yeah, the ones that make us uncomfortable.
Yeah, but remember, approach them with respect
Yeah.
and humility.
We don't have all the answers.
No, we don't.
We're all learning here.
And that's okay.
And remember, accountability, it's not about being perfect.
No, not at all.
It's about progress.
It's about getting better.
We're all human.
We are.
We're going to mess up.
We will.
The important thing is that we learn from our mistakes.
And try to do better next time.
It's about creating an environment where it's okay to make mistakes.
Yes, a safe space to learn and grow.
As long as we're willing to own up to them.
Yes, and make amends.
Accountability isn't about punishment.
It's not.
It's about growth.
It's about healing.
It's about understanding that we're all in this together.
Absolutely. We're all connected.
We all have a responsibility to make the world a better place.
So it's not just about holding individuals accountable.
Right. It's about the community as a whole.
Yeah, we all have a role to play.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I just want to say this has been an amazing conversation.
It has.
Really thought-provoking.
It's made me think about things in a new way.
Me too, and I hope it's done the same for you, the listener.
Yeah, and remember,
this is just the beginning.
It is.
Keep the conversation going.
Talk to your friends, your family, your community. But
what will you do to make a difference?
Because accountability is not just an idea.
It's a practice.
It's something we have to do
every day.
So get out there and make it happen. We're looking at arguments against the idea that, like, colonization's the only reason why the continent faces challenges.
Okay, I'm listening.
We found this super interesting YouTube video. It's by Aquarius Wave.
Aquarius Wave. Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff. Always gets you thinking.
Right. The title is Africa is Not Poor Because of Colonization, Debunking the Liberal Lies.
Catchy. Gotta love a strong title.
And get this, Aquarius is like just one generation removed from colonial Zimbabwe.
Wow, so this is personal for them.
Totally. They actually used to believe that colonization was the main problem holding everything back.
I can see why they'd think that, given their background.
But then they totally changed their view.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What shifted their perspective?
What's so cool about this video is how it starts with Aquarius's personal story.
I like that. Makes it more human, you know?
Yeah, they talk about growing up with this constant narrative that everything wrong in Africa was because of colonization.
I mean, that's a perspective you hear a lot, not just in Africa itself, but among folks in the diaspora, too.
Exactly. And that makes their argument even more striking, because they're basically saying, hold on, this focus on the past, on colonization as the root of all problems, it actually creates this victim mentality.
I can see that. If you're always looking back, blaming what happened before, it's hard to move forward.
Right. It's like you're stuck. You feel powerless to change anything.
This is where the psychology comes in, right?
Totally. Aquarius links this victim mentality to the idea of learned helplessness.
Oh, yeah. I remember learning about that in psych class. It's when people feel like they have zero control over their situation because of past experiences.
Exactly. Like if you're always told your problems are because of something that happened way back, something you can't do anything about, it makes sense that you'd feel helpless.
It can be super disempowering, right? Like, why even bother trying if the deck's already stacked against you?
And that's what Aquarius is pushing back against.
Yeah.
Don't just criticize this victim mentality.
They offer a different way of looking at things.
Yep. They actually point to some real-world examples of African countries that are doing really well economically.
Interesting. So they're backing up their argument with actual success stories.
Exactly. The video highlights places like Rwanda and Mauritius.
Rwanda, yeah. I've heard their economy's been growing pretty fast.
Yeah. And Aquarius argues that a lot of that growth is because those countries have embraced what they call economic freedom.
Okay, that's a term we hear a lot, but what does it actually mean in this context?
Well, the video uses places like Singapore and Hong Kong as like prime examples of economic freedom.
Right. Those are often held up as models of free market economies.
Yeah, limited government intervention, strong property rights, all that.
Yeah.
Aquarius is basically saying that when people have the freedom to start businesses, trade openly, and own property without tons of government interference, it leads to more innovation and wealth creation, which ultimately benefits the whole economy.
That makes intuitive sense, but isn't it a bit more complicated than just having a free market?
You're right. It's definitely not that simple. I mean, there are plenty of countries with free markets that are still struggling with poverty and inequality.
Yeah, good point. It's not like a magic bullet.
And Aquarius actually acknowledges that complexity in the video.
Yeah.
They even talk about their own experience living in California.
California, that's interesting.
Yeah, they talk about how even in a place known for entrepreneurship and innovation, things like high taxes and burdensome regulations can make it really tough for businesses, especially small ones.
So they're drawing a parallel between the challenges faced by businesses in like a developed economy like California and those in developing countries.
Exactly. It's not just about free market good, government bad. It's about finding the right balance, creating an environment where businesses can thrive without being crushed by bureaucracy, but also ensuring that workers are protected and there aren't just unchecked abuses.
It's about responsible growth, not just growth at any cost.
Right, and that's where things get really interesting because Aquarius uses their own success on social media as an example of how economic freedom can empower individuals.
Ooh, that's a clever connection. Tell me more.
Well, they talk about how they built their platform from the ground up, creating content and connecting with an audience. They didn't have to go through traditional gatekeepers or anything like that.
So they're a real-life example of someone who's benefited from the kind of economic freedom they're advocating for.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got this idea of moving beyond the victim mentality and embracing economic freedom as key factors in driving progress.
Right. But I'm guessing there's more to it than just economics, right?
You know it. The video also delves into the role of culture and internal factors that can either help or hinder development. Like Aquarius specifically talks about tribalism in Africa.
Ah, yeah, that's something you hear a lot about.
They argue that this strong sense of loyalty to one's tribe, while important culturally, can sometimes lead to divisions and conflicts that make it hard for a country to be unified and work together towards common goals.
So it's like they're saying there are these internal barriers alongside the external ones we often focus on.
Exactly. And to illustrate this point, Aquarius shares a personal anecdote about their family being asked for bribes at a border crossing.
Ugh, bribes. It's never fun.
They talk about how this kind of corruption, lack of accountability, and general mistrust can make it super hard for businesses to operate and for people to trust the system.
It's like, even if you have good economic policies in place, if the underlying systems are broken, it's going to be tough to see real progress.
Yeah, sometimes the biggest obstacles aren't necessarily outside forces, but these internal issues that need to be addressed head on.
It's about creating a culture of trust and accountability.
And this leads to one of the most compelling ideas in the video, shifting from a victim to vision mentality.
Okay, I like that. Explain that one to me.
Aquarius argues that dwelling on the past, even if it's a painful past, keeps you stuck in this cycle of blame and resentment.
Makes sense. If you're always looking back, it's hard to see where you're going.
Right. They're basically saying, look, instead of focusing on what happened before, let's envision the future we want and put our energy into building that future step by step.
That's powerful. It's about taking ownership, right? Not waiting for someone else to come along and fix things, but recognizing that we all have the power to contribute to positive change.
And to further illustrate this point, Aquarius brings up a really interesting example, the rise of Dubai.
Ah, Dubai. From desert to global powerhouse, right?
Exactly. They talk about how Dubai transformed itself in a remarkably short time.
What's fascinating about Dubai is that it kind of challenges this idea that a country's history or geography determines its destiny.
Right. Dubai was basically a blank slate, not a lot of natural resources, but through strategic planning, visionary leadership, and a focus on creating a business-friendly environment, they attracted investment and talent from all over the world.
It's like they created a blueprint for how to build a thriving economy from scratch.
And this connects to another intriguing idea Aquarius mentions, startup cities.
Startup cities. I haven't heard that one before.
It's this idea that we can apply the lessons learned from places like Dubai to create totally new cities designed from the ground up to encourage innovation and economic growth.
So like experimental zones with different legal and economic systems specifically created to attract investment and cut through the red tape that slows things down in existing cities.
Exactly. It's pretty radical, right? Building whole new cities just to experiment with different approaches to development.
I love it. It's about thinking outside the box, not being limited by the way things have always been done.
And what's even cooler is that Aquarius isn't just talking about these ideas, they're actually trying to make them happen. They mention working with think tanks and advocating for policies that could make these startup cities a reality in Africa.
Wow, so they're putting their ideas into action. That's impressive.
It's like they're saying, look, I'm not just theorizing about this stuff. I'm out there trying to make a real difference.
I respect that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already, from the impact of a victim mentality to the importance of economic freedom, the power of culture, and this fascinating startup cities concept inspired by Dubai.
And it all comes back to this idea of shifting from victim to vision. Aquarius is challenging us to rethink our assumptions about what drives economic development, not just in Africa, but everywhere.
And I'm already hooked. Can't wait to hear what else they have to say.
Well, then buckle up, because we're just getting started. It's really cool how Aquarius ties Dubai's success to legal systems. They even point out that Dubai intentionally adopted British common law.
Yeah, they actually went as far as hiring retired British judges to help set up their legal framework.
It's a super important point. Aquarius argues that British common law, with its focus on individual rights and less government interference in business, is better for economic growth than other types of legal systems.
Right, and it really gets to the core of Aquarius's argument about individual empowerment.
I've got to admit, I'm not totally clear on how common law is different from other legal systems. Can you break that down a bit?
Sure. So Aquarius compares common law to what's called civil law, which is more common in many parts of the world.
Okay, common law versus civil law.
Exactly. They describe common law as more bottom-up, where laws develop gradually based on decisions made in court cases and precedents set by individual situations. It's more flexible, more adaptable to new circumstances.
So it's like the law evolves organically over time based on real-world cases.
Yeah, exactly. Civil law, on the other hand, is more top-down. It relies on these big, comprehensive legal codes written by the government.
Which can sometimes be a bit rigid, right? Less adaptable to new situations or innovative business models.
Precisely.
So if I'm getting this right, Aquarius is saying that common law creates a more predictable, stable environment for businesses because it's based on precedent, not on government regulations that are always changing.
That's the gist of it, yeah. They believe that this predictability is really encouraging for investment and for people taking risks, which are super important for economic growth.
And this ties back to their point about empowering individuals, right? Common law, from their view, puts more power in the hands of individuals and businesses and limits the government's ability to overreach.
Exactly. It's all connected. It's about creating a system where people can thrive and make their own choices without excessive government control.
This is all making a lot more sense to me now. So whether it's economic freedom, changing cultural mindsets, or even adopting legal systems that support individual initiative, Aquarius seems to be advocating for approaches that give people the power to take control of their own lives and create their own successes.
You got it. And this focus on empowering individuals is what makes their passion for startup cities so interesting.
Because they see it as a way to kind of bypass the limitations of existing systems, right? To create a clean slate where innovation and entrepreneurship can really take off without being held back by outdated regulations or entrenched interests.
Right. It's like hitting the reset button and building something brand new that's designed specifically to foster growth and opportunity.
The whole idea of building completely new cities from scratch is pretty mind-blowing, though, isn't it?
It definitely is. It's incredibly ambitious, almost futuristic.
But that's what's so exciting about it.
Yeah, it's about challenging how we usually think and exploring really innovative solutions to these complex problems.
And Aquarius isn't just talking about these ideas, they're actively trying to make them a reality.